Welcome to today's deep dive. Our mission today is to demystify the really high-end invisible technology that makes flawless 4K broadcasting possible. And we are using product data for the AJA 12G-AMA-T mini converter as our source material.
Yeah, it's such a specific but totally vital piece of gear.
It really is. I mean, we're talking about a tiny piece of hardware that weighs just like zero point 0.6 pounds, but it costs a pretty hefty $1,705.
Right, which sounds crazy until you see what it does.
Exactly. So, okay, let's unpack this. I like to think of this device as a hyper-efficient traffic cop, just effortlessly directing these massive 4K video semi-trucks and then these nimble analog audio sports cars seamlessly onto a single fiber optic highway.
I actually love that analogy. It perfectly captures the sheer scale of the data being moved.
Yeah, and to connect this directly to you listening,
Yeah.
have you ever sat in a massive sports bar, surrounded by dozens of screens, and just marveled at how the ultra high definition video and the audio are perfectly in sync?
And there's no giant server room anywhere in sight.
Right, you don't see the text, so how does that happen?
Well, what's fascinating here is that the secret is usually a box exactly like this one. At its core, it is a 4-channel analog audio embedder and disembedder.
Which means what, exactly, for the non-engineers?
Basically, it can seamlessly strip out or disembed 4 analog audio outputs from a super heavy 12G SDI video feed.
Okay, got it.
Or it can do the exact reverse. It can inject or embed audio directly into a 4K or Ultra HD video feed that's running at like 60 frames per second.
Wait, hold on. If we're actively pumping raw 4K video and then simultaneously mixing in 4 channels of balanced analog audio, wouldn't that real-time processing cause, a noticeable delay?
You would think so, yeah.
Like a major lip sync issue? We've all seen bad TV where the ref blows the whistle and you hear it a second
Oh,
through.
absolutely. It's super jarring.
Okay.
But the specs on this thing explain why there is basically zero lag. The 12G video latency is a microscopic 3.2 microseconds.
Microseconds. Wow.
Yeah, millionths of a second. It doesn't compress or re-encode the video at all, and the audio embedding path itself takes just 1,100 microseconds.
Okay, so going back to the traffic cop idea, it isn't stopping the massive 4K semi-trucks at all. It's just perfectly merging the audio sports cars into the next lane without anyone tapping the brakes.
Exactly. And to keep that blinding speed up over really long distances, it uses an LC fiber transceiver.
So it's turning the signals into pulses of light.
Precisely. Which means you can push these massive, completely lag-free signals across a huge stadium, and all that heavy lifting happens in a box measuring just 5.8 by 3.1 inches.
That is just wild. And honestly, it explains why 25-year-old legacy distributors like HDTV Supply carry this specific gear. When you're dealing with live broadcasts, right, there is zero margin for error.
Oh yeah, reliability is absolutely everything in this industry. A single dropped frame ruins the entire illusion.
Right, which makes a lot of sense out of this one review we found in the source data. A customer named Kevin A. was building out a really complex setup, and he totally praised his rep, Rachel, calling her a rock star.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, specifically because she made sure he got exactly this right piece of tech. The gear just has to work perfectly and silently.
It really just highlights that the best tech is the tech you never actually notice.
Exactly. So why should you care about all this? Because tiny, totally unassuming boxes like this are the vital, invisible backbone of the flawless media consumption you experience every single day.
They're the unsung heroes of the audiovisual world, for sure.
Definitely. But it does leave you with a really interesting final thought to ponder. As our media rapidly scales beyond 4K into 8K and eventually massive virtual reality data, how much smaller and faster can these physical hardware traffic cops actually get before we hit the absolute limits of the speed of light?